There is no hood like parenthood. Hi, I'm Kanika Chadda Gupta. I'm a former CNN journalist, mom of 3, including twins, and host of That's Total Mom Sense, the podcast. Now, if I had $1 every time I heard, gee, you have your hands full. On my show, I interview change makers on their life lessons, legacy, and superpower of intuition, which I call our Mom Sense and Dad Sense. I've had the privilege of working with Mom 2.0, March of Dimes, and the White House, and have had some pretty amazing parents on my show.
Hey, what's up? I'm Kelly Rowland.
Hi, this is Chelsea Clinton. It's me, Bobbi Brown. Can't wait to share my story.
That's Total Mom Sense is a production of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube so you never miss an episode. To join my tribe, visit that'stotalmomsense.com and follow me on Instagram at Kanika Chadda Gupta. Now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the design series on That's Total Mom Sense. As parents, we know that a well-designed home isn't just about aesthetics. It's about functionality, organization, and comfort for the whole family. In this series, I'm talking to industry leaders and diving into all things home design to learn more about decorating your interiors, maximizing closet space, finding the perfect mattress, sustainable bedding, gorgeous window treatments, protecting your appliances, and more. Thank you to my brand sponsors for helping families create spaces and use products that are safe and sustainable. After all, home is where the heart is. Now let's design a life that makes sense. California Closets is not only transforming homes for families, it's changing their lives for the better too. I know this firsthand because I'm a happy and grateful client myself. On this very special episode, I'll be interviewing the owners of California Closets of Northern New Jersey as they're celebrating a very special milestone, 40 years in the business. What if you could reimagine your spaces and home to have efficiency, function, and aesthetic? Well, you can, and I've experienced this firsthand. I am so thrilled for this very special episode, which is in situ at California Closets. I'm joined by Julie LaFranco, owner of California Closets in Northern New Jersey. She and her husband Bob have been in business since 1984 and specialize in custom installations of closets and mudrooms and pantries and more. And I'm so excited to hear from Julie firsthand. Julie, welcome to That's Total Mom Sense.
Thanks, Kanika. It's so nice to be here today.
Wonderful. Okay, let's get into it. Tell us about this thriving family business and your very special origin story.
Well, this company was originated by a young entrepreneur, but it's an interesting story how my family got into the business. My father was working in a family business that he wasn't really happy with, and he was on vacation with a friend, and we're thinking, what is something that everybody needs? And his friend, they were laughing about closets and organization, like everybody needs it, but nobody really knows. It was 1983 at the time, so this brand obviously wasn't around. And, they were laughing about it. And then when they returned home, their friends who were in Jacksonville had moved there, sent them an article of an opening of a California Closets. And my parents were like, wow, this is amazing. They didn't realize that a company like this existed. So they flew out to California and met with the founder, who was a really young college student. He actually founded the idea in a dorm room. He and his friend maximized the storage in the dorm room, and it turned out that one of the professors helped him franchise, and that's how he began to sell these locations. And so my parents in 1984 flew out to California, gave their life savings to a 22-year-old kid with three teenagers at home. My sister and brother and I were all like young teenagers at the time, and so a lot of our family thought that they were totally insane with this idea, but it's been a thriving business, and this year we celebrated our 40th anniversary. Wow. So it's been a pretty incredible journey.
I love that your dad was a visionary and went against the grain and knew that, nope, this is actually a really brilliant idea. It's gonna stick. And I'm wondering about the founder. Was he just good at woodshop? Like, how did even he think this is something that all families nationwide, worldwide need.
I'm not sure he was thinking that big at the time. I think it was really just trying to fit his clothing into his dorm room closet just out of necessity. And certainly through the years, as the business grew, we saw the advantages of all of the different rooms that we could work in, and the product itself has evolved tremendously over the years. It was very basic in the beginning, and closets weren't chic or glamorous back then, and now it's a whole different story. So I'm not sure that he saw that full vision at that time, but it's pretty interesting how things have evolved.
Totally. And so tell us what sets the brand and the mission apart.
Well, the brand has gone through a transformation. It's really a lot more than just poles and shelves. That's really how it started in the dorm room, but really it's just an evolution of making space for people and making space for what belongs in people's homes. That's our tagline these days, is making space for what belongs, and it's really just home has become so important to people, and what you do there and the peace that you feel, especially post-COVID, just how much our homes mean to us and how we want to make them function for what we need and the needs of our family.
So being one of the first franchisees on the East Coast of this, burgeoning brand, what did your dad do first?
That's a good question. There was a lot that they did to try to bring exposure to the brand. Initially, there were things like home shows that we participated in. Obviously, back in the day, there was no social media, there was no internet even. So
it was phone books. We had phone,
legit.
They were great in the car if you were short. So it was great.
We had, every Yellow Pages, all of the traditional advertising mediums, but didn't really have the budget even for TV or radio. There was no podcasting back then, no internet. So it's pretty crazy, but it was a very visual brand. So definitely the newspaper advertisements and things like that, just more traditional means of media, and then just getting the word out there, working, even just trying to work with home builders and things like that to just build on the reputation of the brand.
That's great. And I have to say, so as I was driving up here for this shoot, I was telling my dad about this partnership and this podcast recording. And he said, oh yeah, I know California Closets really well. And I love that because my family immigrated here from India. I was born in 1982 and they were here in 84, and even they know how much clout and a great reputation that California Closets has. So your reputation precedes you, and for decades and decades.
Well, that's
amazing.
That's so nice to hear. My family and I have worked really hard to maintain the reputation that the brand has, but we just love and how everything has evolved and how the systems have become so much more sophisticated and how it's been so nice helping so many families. We literally see families at the most important times in their lives, usually when they choose to work with us means they have some kind of life change, like they're moving or they're downsizing or someone's going away to college or they're having a new baby. So usually we're there to celebrate those events, and now that we've been doing this so many years, we get to see basically a whole family evolve through all of the stages of life. So it's been really amazing. We say we have customers for life, and we really do mean it. It's interesting to see people move through their lives and at the different times that they need us and can utilize us.
That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, all these milestones, you're a part of it. And tell us what it was like in those early days when you worked as a receptionist, and now you're running the entire business here in northern New Jersey.
Well, it's been an adventure and a journey. I definitely have learned a lot along the way. When they first purchased the franchise, I was 14, so they said, do you want to come and help on the weekends in the showroom? And I said, sure. And then I realized, oh, the phone might actually ring and I might have to talk to a customer. So, yeah, I just kind of learned and started in that simple role and learned the business through the years, obviously working with the sales team, working with our marketing team. My husband joined the business. He was one of our early installers, and we learned together really all of the roles within the business, which I think allow us to be better managers and better hands-on owners of our location now, just because we really know what we're asking our employees to do, and we know what it takes to do a good job. So
yes, Yes, and you know what I think customers are really going to appreciate is that it is family owned and run. And when you have a family business, I feel like there's just such an ethos to all that you put out, and as consumers, we see that. We see the heart that goes into the product. So what's it like working with family? Because there's many, many hands on deck.
That is something that I'm blessed to say. We have a really great relationship. I work with my husband. Sometimes people say, how do you do that? My parents worked together before us, and so we had a good example in that way. And my sister and brother work there as well, but we have a lot of longtime employees who we consider family. Some people have been with us 30 years, 25 years, 20 years. So even though they're not family per se, they feel like family to us, and we've all grown in this business and watched it thrive. It's been pretty amazing.
Tell us about your motherhood journey, because I think that's a whole other kind of identity that we take on here. You're running the business, but then you're also running your home. So what was that like as you were growing the brand?
So as we were growing the brand, that was definitely a little bit more challenging. Obviously, running a business and having young children is tricky, but I think it also allowed us to teach our children the importance of work and how you can create balance and harmony. But not only that, like what we do actually does help families and working families. So giving your children independence, and like in a child's closet, it's just so hard for them to be independent because there's one pull and one shelf that they can't reach. So they can't really get dressed, and sometimes getting them out the door in the morning can be a battle, like what can they wear? So once they have a system in place, like they were able to get dressed and foster some kind of independence for themselves. And so that was something that they got to see, through this business, and really initially didn't really understand it, but have come to learn and love the brand now. They're both independent, living on their own. We just recently did closets for my daughter in New York City, and her boyfriend, she's living with him, he was like, wow, I feel like we've got really a life upgrade. So it was nice to see them personally, even though she's lived with a brand basically her whole life. Yeah. It was nice for them to like feel like a client and really get that experience. So
that's so cool. I love that. Anything else from the early days you remember raising your two kids?
Yeah, we have lots of footage of them playing in showroom displays and being at work, and all of our employees know them and have seen them grow up. So it's been a journey for them too, to see Bob and I take something, take some smaller roles and then turn it into something bigger. So
yeah, that's wonderful. I love that. I can picture them running around a showroom just like this.
Yeah, and sometimes they see people that they haven't seen in a long time, and they just all feel connected because they've been around the brand so long.
Yeah, wow. So what are some of the most important life lessons that you and Bob really sought to impart to your kids?
Well, honesty and gratitude, I think, are really important things that we've tried to pass on to them. Being grateful for the things that you do have, and also being, good people, giving back, things like that, I think have been really important for us to pass on to them.
That's great. Okay, so shifting gears to the design process. And I've seen this firsthand, and it is incredible. So me and my family of 5, I have 3 kids who are Irish triplets. Now the twins are 8. My younger one is 6.5. We knew we wanted to move to a new home that was close to their school. I was driving 90 minutes round trip to the school that they attended, and I did that for 2 years. And anything for the kids, honestly, anything for the kids. And having this job in media, I do have the flexibility. But believe me, it was like, when are we gonna find this dream home of ours? And now it's built. And the first thing that we added on was our office built-in, made by California Closets, and more functionality in our laundry room. With the office, it's got to double as a home office for me and my husband. So we wanted to have ample desk space and storage space and still keep like the aesthetic there. And it's also a podcast studio. So when I'm doing any kind of solo podcasting, or if I happen to bring a guest in, I wanted to have the built-in be its own statement backdrop, which it is. And it is just chef's kiss, done so beautifully. I absolutely love it. I started with Google. I typed in office built-in into the search, and California Closets came up. I called the phone number and was set up with a design consultation with my designer, Rebecca Fiorini, and we hopped on a Zoom. And in such an efficient, methodical way, I showed her on the Zoom my inspiration, and she gave me a 3D rendering of what it would look like. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, I cannot believe that I can, press a button and open a cabinet or open a drawer and see what this entire structure would look like live. And same thing for the laundry room, the pull-out ironing board. I could see that simulated on a screen. I thought it was just really, really amazing. As we went in, she came a few times to measure the space, and this was while the home was still getting built. So many moving parts at this time. But the actual installation, done in 48 hours. I felt like with my, family of 5 in our hectic life, it was like ninjas who just came and built and left. And we were just in awe at the process. So tell us how, even that came to be, because that's very, very specific to the brand.
Yeah, so I'm glad to hear you had such a positive experience. I know
gosh.
Rebecca really enjoyed working with you on your project.
So when my family and I moved, I knew the first and most important space that we needed was our home office. So I called and was speaking to someone to book a consultation, and it happened to be Rebecca. So we hopped on a Zoom. She took my inspiration photo for what I wanted this beautiful built-in to look like in the office, and she brought it to life, and we were so happy.
I'm
we're
so
happy. It's so nice to be able to be in this space. At my laptop, my husband and I both share the space, and I podcast from there, and it's so gorgeous. Everyone asks me, oh my gosh, that built-in is stunning.
That's wonderful
Where's
to
it from?
hear. I'm so glad, Kanika. It's been a pleasure working with you. I mean, I feel like from the minute that we started to talk on the phone, or by Zoom, I should say, it was just definitely a connection, and it was, I was, first of all, very excited to even design your space. To have the inspiration photo was just fantastic, and then to watch this project come to life from beginning to end has just been so fulfilling, and I'm so happy that you're happy and your husband's happy and your kids are happy too.
Yes, we all are, and you knocked it out of the park because it was much better than the inspiration photo.
Love to hear that.
It was so great. It was very efficient to go from phone call and our first initial consultation to the final product.
Sure, right. Well, having the inspiration photo was very helpful. It allowed me to create the design that you were really wanted, and then working together to tweak it a little bit. Me coming over to measure the spaces. Measurements are so important because we want to make sure that when we come to your home, everything is already done, and we don't want to spend all day and night in your home. We want to be as efficient as possible. So allowing me to come into your home, not only once, but 3 or 4 times, take those measurements was really, really important too. And then we also talked about your laundry room while I was there. So there was another need, and we were able to pretty quickly.
Yep, add that on. 100%. It was so great. Each space has so much functionality and aesthetic and like just character to it.
Yeah.
It's really, really great.
So great.
And then we booked the installation date.
Yes.
And I was so surprised. The whole process of both rooms took just 2 days, 48 hours.
Yeah. I have to say that's the skill of our installation team. They're top notch.
Yes, and another little nice touch that I loved was one thing, they had shoe booties so that they're not walking with their shoes on in our home, but even more so, there was a red carpet. So you just feel like so important. I was like, wow, we have a red carpet up the stairs, and I can sashay in my pajamas into the laundry room. But yeah, it was really this white glove premium service that you're getting. And then when we had the final product, it was just like a ta-da kind of moment. And we still just open the door and look at it and admire. It's really great.
That's great.
And it has been a joy working with you. Thank you so much for bringing it to life.
Investing in the tools to have things come to life has been really a focus for California Closets. The technology, we have a digital showroom, we have a 3D proprietary CAD system that we build everything in. We spend a lot of money to make sure that we're replicating exactly what it's going to look like so people can really understand fully what it's going to look like. Obviously, we're sitting here in a showroom, and so it's nice to have this tool too where people can see and touch and feel things before they experience them in their home, but being able to have a 3D tool that replicates the product so well so people can really see what it's going to look like and envision what it's going to do and how it's going to transform their space. We really call it designing better lives, and that's what we really think we do for customers. We try to be as proficient as we can and take as little time in your home. So we do manufacture everything in our manufacturing facility. Everything is cut to size prior to coming to your home, which is what leads to such an efficient build. Most of the materials are pre-finished ahead of time, so there isn't any painting or staining or smells in your home, and so we're able to do a transformation in a pretty quick amount of time.
I just was like completely floored by the final product. And I'm just, the compliments are streaming in online, offline. Anyone who visits, they're just like, oh my God, this office is stunning. So it's really great to get that kind of feedback and even have my hand in it. Was like, okay, this is an inspiration photo, but it went above and beyond my expectations.
I think what's so important is just the individualized questions, because everybody's home office especially functions so different, right? Because what the tasks you do for work might be totally different than what the tasks your husband does for work, or if your children are going to use the space for a desk.
Right.
So part of what we do really comes from understanding the customer really well, making sure that we really understand the way you work and the way you live so that we can work together and collaborate on the best possible design for you and have it be personalized and work exactly as it needs to for you and your family.
Hey moms and dads, let's be real. Life with kids is messy. But what if I told you that your home could be both beautiful and functional? I truly believe in the power of smart design. That's why I turned to California Closets to transform my home office and laundry room. And let me tell you, it's been a game changer. From custom closets to sleek storage solutions, California Closets helps busy families create organized, stress-free spaces that actually work for your lifestyle. Whether it's a playroom that grows with your kids, a clutter-free mudroom, or a pantry that makes meal prep so much easier, they design around your needs. And the best part, you can schedule a free consultation where you get to see a computer-generated blueprint made by their expert designers to bring your vision to life. Just log on to californiaclosets.com and tell them you heard about it on That's Total Mom Sense. Because a well-designed home isn't just about looking good, it's about making life easier for you and your family. So many parents struggle with keeping their home organized. What are some of your tips around that? Like, how can they do that to really create just, high level harmony in their space, but to make sure that there's a home for everything and a methodical way to do things?
Well, I do think that our systems are so important for families, as I said before, especially for children, to be able to foster some kind of independence and be able to have systems and things that they can reach. So certainly designing a closet or even just a playroom where they have access to the things that they want to interact with, and also know the value of cleaning up and putting things away and having a place for things. I think when you can teach children that when they're young, they have those good habits throughout their life. So I do think that having a system that they can actually interact with is so important. Most things that are designed for children when it comes to a closet really isn't very useful because they can't reach anything. So being able to have things that they can reach is really important, but also just in a playroom setting or even just like a desk for children, just understanding the way they use it and having it be sized for them, and then having having them create some pride in owning it and using it and liking it and having a space to do the things that they like to do, I think is really important.
That's beautiful. I love it. And that's, you know, Montessori at best, like fostering a sense of stewardship and being able to do things on your own.
Both my kids went to Montessori, okay. So I think that probably makes sense.
Yes, yes. Agency and autonomy is key. And I don't know what it is, but as a parent, I love seeing like 3- and 4-year-olds tinkering with things and pouring their own like juice. It's the sweetest thing. And so giving them that independence is key. And if you can do that early on because you created a space that allows for it, is like amazing.
I think it really does help.
Can we deep dive on how parents can create like systems for organization in a playroom or in bedrooms or like closets? Like, is there something that's like, these are really great hacks you should include?
I think just being able to separate by categories, things that are things that they might build with versus art supplies, just having everything have a place, I think makes it so much easier. I remember early days with my children and just everything all over, and just always felt like the house was just such a mess. And if people were coming over, I just wanted it to look a certain way. And you didn't, you know, you have children and all of a sudden, I always said like the plastic just takes over, just the house feels smaller as all of those things come in. So definitely having spaces that are designed for each of those individual tasks, having baskets or things that pull out, having children understand that, you know, the things that you create with are going to be over here, whereas the things you build with are going to be over there, and just kind of making these little zones of activities so that they know what to find where instead of pulling everything out. My kids would just, you know, sometimes pull everything out, and then putting it all away was so challenging. So I think if you have little zones for each of the activities they can do, they're much less likely to start pulling and grabbing and just making a mess and then throwing everything back in. So definitely having designated spaces, and hopefully they can adapt to, you know, utilizing it in the ways that we anticipate.
So what does a day in the life of a franchisee owner like yourself look like?
Well, the days are pretty varied, but usually it's, you know, some meetings with staff, some huddles to find out what's going on for the day, what are the hot items that we need to talk about. Usually some independent meetings with individuals that just to see how things are going and just understand really how, you know, what challenges we might be facing at the time. Owning a business can be challenges. There's different challenges that come up all of the time that we need to overcome and work together to solve. So usually a lot of problem solving, some team building, encouraging, coaching some of the team members, how they might be able to do things a little bit better, or what things they might be able to improve upon, or how they might tackle a certain task or problem that they have at hand. Usually a lot of coaching and discussing and things like that.
As a mom of 3, my 9 to 5 is anything but ordinary. It's a whirlwind of school drop-offs, snacks, bedtime stories, my packed workday, and the super sweet just one more hug routine. But my 5 to 9, that's my time to relax and rejuvenate, and nothing makes it more luxurious than Cozy Earth. From the moment I slip into my buttery soft pajamas or sink into my Cozy Earth sheets, I feel the stress of the day just melt away. These sheets are unbelievably breathable, keeping me cool all night long. The loungewear is so chic. I may or may not have rocked it at drop-off. Even my husband and kids agree. My youngest rushes to our bed to just snuggle. You want to know the best part? You get 100 nights to try it risk-free, plus a 10-year warranty on all bedding. That's how much Cozy Earth believes in their quality. Luxury shouldn't be out of reach. Log on to CozyEarth.com and use code MOMSENSE for 40% off. That's MOMSENSE at CozyEarth.com for best-selling sheets, pajamas, and more. Trust me, treat yourself. There's no mom guilt about that. Sanctuary awaits with Cozy Earth. Tell us more about California Closets, Northern New Jersey, the team and the locations. how it all ties together.
Sure. So we are located in Fairfield, New Jersey. We have another retail showroom in Bernardsville where we're sitting. We have a team of about 54 people who are employed by us, and so we have a terrific team. Really, we always say it's our products and our people that make the difference, but it really is the people, and it's something we pride ourselves on. Delivering this experience and really transforming, but it really matters who does that, and having employees who really understand what our mission is and how we help clients and how every interaction is really important. Obviously, our design team is important and spends time with customer, but the installation team are the ones who spend more time actually in the client's home. They're actually building and working in the client's home, so making sure that they're respectful of that. And then obviously in the manufacturing facility, the same. They're responsible for the quality of the parts that gets to clients' homes, and so everybody needs to do their part for things to go well. The business is complex in that we sell, manufacture, and install. In a lot of instances, that's 3 separate businesses.
Right.
So that has its benefits and its challenges, right? Like if we order something and it doesn't come in right, that's one problem. But if we're making it, we have to figure out why it isn't being made right.
Right.
And so every department is really equally important because we can't do it without the other, right? If the designer doesn't provide the right measurements, or if the shop doesn't provide the right pieces, or the pieces aren't the right quality, the installer at the end isn't going to be able to deliver on what we promise to our customers. So our team is really important to us. We're really proud of the tenure of our staff. We have a lot of people who've been with us a long time, and we like to think that that's a testament that they enjoy what they do, they enjoy working for us, and we enjoy having them on our team.
So my name is Shelley Topper. I am a senior design consultant, and Julie is my sister. So we grew up together and work together, and I just love what I do. I've been doing this for a very long time, so there are a lot of projects that are memorable. One that comes to mind in particular, there was a family, they were expanding into a bigger home, and they knew that mudrooms they didn't have a place to be organized. It was always a mess. So it was something that they were so looking forward to doing, and we talked about everything that needed to go into that space and how we could best make it function for them on a daily basis, getting everybody out of the house on time. So that was one of the things, and just to hear back from your clients say, this is life-changing, this is exactly what we expected, and that makes me, that makes it all worth it. I love that part of it and that aspect of the job. So when you have a space that's shared by more than one person, we like to have separate cubbies, so then each child has a space, or everybody in the home has their space. The backpacks are here, the shoes can go in underneath, so everybody knows where everything is. Lots of storage for, depending on where it's located in the house, if it's, pool towels for the outside, or it's additional Costco things. And then we try to make it look as pretty as possible. My biggest design hack tip is after you get your new system, everybody thinks that they're going to use everything that they have, and they keep it, and you really don't wear a lot of what you think you do. So when you put your clothes back into the closet, my recommendation is, instead of putting the hanger on the bar going this way, turn everything going the other way. So when you're putting your clothes away, instead of putting them on the hanger going this way, on the rod going this way, put them this way. So every time you wear something, then you take it and you turn it around, and all your hangers will be going the right way or the wrong way, and that way you know what you're wearing and what you're not.
Hi, my name is David Ginsburg, and I'm the installation manager at California Closets of Northern New Jersey. It was a lot of hard work by all, particularly my parents at first, obviously. We went a couple of years without seeing them, and work was paramount, and we all kind of did what we could around the house to manage, and eventually we all joined the business at some point, and kind of made a home away from home. I remember when my parents first bought the business, I thought that at some point everybody would have everything that they needed, and this is like a finite business, but I really understood a little bit more as time went on that the true nature of the product and how much we could grow, and beyond the closet, to really help our clients not just functionally but also make beautiful items for them. So that really facilitated the business for longevity.
Hello, my name is Minnell from California Closets, Northern New Jersey. I run the pre-production planning, and I've been with the company for 29 years. Met Marty back in 29 years ago in January of '96. Small office. There was only Marty, Ruthie at the time, Bob, Julie, Shelley, and met him in his office and sat down and interviewed. I was hired the following Monday and on the road training as an installer. Early days back in the day were double hangs, long hangs, low hangs, drawers, but nothing compared to what it is now. Everything now is very elegant, and you got crown moldings, lighting, so everything has changed a lot since 29 years ago. There's so many things to talk about. When we first started building the closets, when I talked to my wife, I said, okay, California Closets, here we go. Didn't realize 29 years later, I'm still here. We've seen it where I look at the plans and also when the installers come back and they show the pictures on the Slack. It's definitely amazing how, it starts on a piece of paper into a CAD program, and now it's basically being built, and seeing a lot of pictures where a lot of the families are actually involved in the pictures, like dogs, their puppies or cats in the picture is pretty cool. Yeah, back in the day, we only had basic colors. We had white, linen, I think it was almond at the time, cognac, candlelight, but now, as you can see, the colors have definitely changed a lot. We have the gray oak, cinder, these are all our big colors right now. Natural, quiet grove, definitely color choices have really changed in the 29 years I've been here. A lot of training. We actually have the installers, the new installers go with ride-alongs with the journeyman installers, and it's really basically, it's from this top down that they train the guys really well, day by day. And once you get going, it's like repetition. Once you start knowing exactly how the closets are built, it's basically every single day is a different. Yeah, we have definitely a lifetime guarantee for the product, and we come out there pretty soon after the job is installed if there is any problems, and we'll get it fixed as soon as possible because our customers are the ones that are going to be living with the rest of their life.
I am Melanie Statlander, and I am the marketing manager at California Closets, North Jersey. I started in 2003. I was hired as a sales assistant for Julie. At that time, I was in my early 20s, so coming up on more than 2 decades of working with California Closets and Julie and Bob and their family. It is definitely like working with my own family. We spend so much time at work with each other, and I also met my husband there at California Closets 19 years ago, I guess. And we have 3 children, so I'm thankful for not only my work family, but also my actual family that I wouldn't have if I didn't work there. When I first started there was a lot of print and yellow pages advertising, things like that, and over the years it's really transformed into more online and digital, and just the whole transformation from where it was then to where it is now is so different over the past 22 years. So when I first started working there, Marty and Ruthie were still in the business, in the day-to-day. And Marty actually does call me TD, his third daughter. So again, it really is like I'm working with my family at this point after so long with the company. Pretty proud to be part of this company and have it be our 40th anniversary for our local franchise. I think that it really says something when there's so many employees that still work at our location who have been there 10, 20, 25 years, that it's a great place to work and we work with great people.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Fiorini. I'm a designer with California Closets. Working with California Closets has been fantastic. I've had the honor to work with so many great people in Northern New Jersey. We have a fantastic sales team that I've learned so much from, and our clients are just wonderful, wonderful people. And I love to hear how happy they are after the installation and they see the transformation. This is a pantry. It's in our natural finishes with black hardware. As you can see here, we have this beautiful pull-out rod here where you can hang all of your tablecloths and anything that you have for your kitchen. As well, these beautiful black doors with the beautiful clear glass in front, lets you keep the dust away inside, but still see the beauty of what you have inside. So this is our kids' closet, and as you can see, we have a triple hang here. But when the child is little, their clothes are little. But as they grow, you might need to change, and it's super easy to change our rods. You just lift them up like this, pull them out, and then these little poles come out as well, and you can easily adjust the rods. As well, the shelves can also be easily adjusted.
We're celebrating
40 years!
40 years is a really long time to sustain. It's something we think about a lot as you see like these really big brands and brands that you've grown up with that are no longer. It's not lost on us. We try to consider what do we have to do to stay relevant, and how do we not be, you know, your grandmother's closet company? Are we evolving, and are we interacting with people in the way that we need to be in 2025 versus the way we did in 1984? It's very different. So obviously technology plays a big role, but also being there and being on social media and all the places where people look for companies now, and just making sure that we're always head and shoulders above the rest and innovating with our product and hiring the best people makes a big difference, and that's been really the difference for us.
We grew up in the business together. The people that work for us, Julie mentioned it earlier, we have so many relationships. We've grown with so many people that have been with us for 29 years, 26 years, 24 years. So they're an extension of our family, and they are family. They spend more time with us than sometimes their own home. So I like to think that we've created something that they feel equally as passionate and safe, and they've enjoyed the journey as much as I think we have.
And we like to laugh a lot at work too, right? We have to have some fun.
Yeah.
We all spend a lot of time there, so like making it a fun environment is really important to us too. It's obviously business is important, but you know, doing things to build the community and team building, and just, you know, everybody knows each other, and it's just really nice.
And could you shed light on the corporate culture? Because, you know, this is an overarching brand, and it's great to see so many businesses that have grown from it.
Yeah, so the corporate culture is really great. We have a credo that we operate with, and we say that, or we operate as the brand of belonging. So we create space for what belongs in people's homes, but we want to be the brand of belonging where people come and feel like they belong and that their ideas matter, and they can come with some suggestions, or they can come with some ideas, and that they get implemented. So it's nice. A lot of our best ideas and products have come from innovation in the field. So the corporate culture listens to that, surveys what we need as franchisees, surveys what we need as individuals, like how we can get better, and tries to incorporate all of those things into making the best products possible.
California Closets has its own podcast called Ideas of Order with Jeremiah Brent. So many celebrities and thought leaders have been on it, like Joanna Gaines, Christian Siriano, Bobbi Brown, to name a few. What do you love most about the podcast? Because, you know, there's so many celebrities that love the brand, and they all have their own aesthetic and you know, inspo that they go for. So what does that bring out in you when you hear their stories?
It's just so interesting hearing how everybody prioritizes and values their home and what's important to them in their spaces. It's just so interesting, whether they're famous or just a regular person. It's just so interesting, everybody's relationship with their homes and their spaces, and just hearing about that. Obviously, it's always nice to hear how celebrities live because we think it's so different, but it really isn't. And when you hear the things that matter to them, it just resonates with every person. And so it's just been really fun conversations about home and what home means to people, and just it's been really fun to listen to and learn about the different ways people live.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And honestly, with the just white glove premium service that you're getting from California Closets, you feel like a celebrity. I know I did. So if there's one takeaway for parents listening today, what would it be?
I would say invest in systems that your children can learn and grow with. It's beyond just the investment of the aesthetic. It really does foster great habits, gives kids independence, and will make your life just so much easier. Just trying to get out the door in the morning when people know where things are. There's a statistic of how long people spend looking for things. I can't remember what it is, but like you waste something like 3 days looking for things. So if you can just simplify that, anything that you can do to make mornings easier. It's hard to be a working parent, and so just being organized can really make a tremendous difference in terms of how days flow and just how everybody's feeling. Why not start the morning with harmony instead of chaos?
Yes, I definitely agree with that. And looking back on 40 years, oh my goodness, like what just makes your heart melt?
It's just it really is pretty incredible when I think about the original closets that we had when my parents first purchased the franchise. I think my dad had built us like dollhouse shelves in our closet, and my sister and I made it into our like Barbie dream house. So see cool. That and then have really nice systems in my own house feels almost like full circle. Like we started with this dollhouse in the closet, and now we have like fully functioning systems in a home of my own, and really feel like we're making a difference for other people with the work that we do. Even though it doesn't seem like you're making a difference, it really does make a difference for people. And when you live with a system and when your home works well for you, it just gives you a better feeling. Life is just better. It sounds dramatic, but like life is just better when your home is harmonious and works for you. So it's been pretty incredible to serve all the families through the years and do that for people and experience that myself too has been really wonderful.
So true. And I as you mentioned that like families are just clients for life. I'm sure you have grandparents who went on to having their kids work with you and then their kids, right?
We absolutely hear that all the time, and it is the kind of thing that once you have it, you really can't live without it.
Yeah.
So if you grow up with a closet, like you need one after that because you just can't function without it. It's that important. You start and end every day in your closet, and if that can bring you peace and joy and harmony, then like it's such a good way to start and finish each day.
And where can everyone find you, starting from how to make a consultation and then enjoy their very own California closets in their home?
We do offer a complimentary in-home consultation. You can set one up right on the website. There should be a schedule now button. You can see us at calclosets.com is our website. You can find us on social media, all the usual places, and we would love to have someone out and show you how we might be able to change your life.
Amazing. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. How does one get started with, installation, like the step-by-step process of working with California Closets?
Well, we offer a complimentary in-home consultation. We'd love to have one of our designers out to your home. You can schedule that by visiting our website at calclosets.com. There's a schedule now button. You can see some of our work on our social media, and there's no obligation for the consultation. The designer will come out, do the measurements like you mentioned, and then use our CAD tool to really show you how we might be able to transform your space. And then if you decide to move forward, our installation team will be out to your home and hopefully provide the seamless installation that Kanika experienced. And we hope you'll give us a call.
There's nothing more important than family to me, and to see how this family business has run over the years in such a meaningful way is so, so special. I hope you got some great takeaways from the owners and the team members on how to get organized with your family and stay true to your personal style. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of That's Total Mom Sense with California Closets. Thanks for listening to this episode of That's Total Mom Sense. You can listen to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for That's Total Mom Sense. You can learn more about my guests by logging on to www.thatstotalmomsense.com. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active on social media. My handle is @Kanika Chadda Gupta. And if you have ideas for show topics or guests you can't wait to have on the show, write to me at thatstotalmomsense@gmail.com. And lastly, please rate, review, and subscribe to That's Total Mom Sense if you haven't already. Thanks for being in my tribe.